There is a strange moment that many people experience at least once in their lives. It happens when you pause and look back at the path you have walked so far. You remember the people who appeared at exactly the right time, the unexpected opportunities that changed your direction, and the difficult situations that forced you to become stronger. When you observe these moments carefully, something begins to feel unusual. Your life does not seem completely random anymore. It starts to look more like a pattern quietly unfolding behind the scenes. Deep within every human being lies an unseen structure that shapes how they experience the world. This inner structure influences your fears, your attractions, your instincts, and even the types of challenges you encounter again and again. Most people move through life without realizing that their decisions are not entirely conscious. Beneath the surface of awareness, hidden forces are constantly guiding behavior, preferences, and reactions. From childhood, experiences begin forming psychological patterns that slowly become part of your identity. The way you were treated, the emotions you learned to hide, and the beliefs you adopted about yourself all contribute to a deeper internal map. This map quietly directs how you interpret situations and how you respond to the world around you. Two people can face the exact same event, yet react completely differently because their inner blueprints are not the same. This hidden blueprint is not only shaped by personal experiences, it also carries deeper human patterns that seem to exist within everyone. Certain symbols, fears, dreams, and desires appear across cultures and generations as if they are woven into the human mind itself. These universal patterns influence how people imagine heroes, confront danger, seek love, and search for meaning in their lives. Because this blueprint operates beneath conscious awareness, it often reveals itself through repetition. Many people notice that they keep encountering similar situations throughout their lives. They may find themselves drawn to the same type of relationships, facing the same emotional conflicts, or struggling with the same internal doubts. It can feel frustrating, as if life keeps presenting the same lesson over and over again. These repeating patterns are not accidents. They are signals pointing toward something within the individual that has not yet been fully understood. The hidden blueprint continues to shape experiences until the person becomes aware of what lies beneath their reactions and decisions. Until that awareness emerges, life tends to move in circles rather than forward. Sometimes this blueprint communicates through dreams, sudden insights, or powerful emotional reactions that seem stronger than the situation itself. A simple conversation may trigger deep anger or unexpected sadness. A random symbol in a dream might stay in your mind long after waking up. These moments are glimpses of the deeper structure operating within the psyche. There are also moments when life presents strange coincidences that feel too meaningful to ignore. You might meet someone who reflects a hidden part of yourself. You might discover an idea or opportunity that perfectly aligns with a question you have been struggling with internally. These experiences often feel like small signals guiding you toward a deeper understanding of who you are becoming. The more a person begins observing their own thoughts, emotions, and recurring life patterns, the clearer this hidden blueprint becomes. Gradually, the unconscious forces that once operated in the background start moving into conscious awareness. When that happens, the individual begins to recognize why certain paths felt irresistible and why certain obstacles kept appearing at critical moments in their life. Almost everyone has experienced a moment that felt too strange to dismiss as pure chance. It might be the moment you think about someone you have not spoken to in years, and suddenly they send you a message. Or the time you randomly come across a book, a quote, or a conversation that answers a question you have been silently struggling with. These moments are often called coincidences, but sometimes they feel far more meaningful than the word suggests. At first glance, life appears to be a series of random events. People cross paths, opportunities appear, and situations unfold without any visible order. Yet, when certain events align with your inner thoughts or emotional state in a surprisingly precise way, it creates a strange feeling that something deeper might be at work. These moments can feel almost like life itself is responding to something within you. Many people ignore these experiences because they do not fit easily into logical explanations. They brush them aside as lucky accidents or strange timing. But if you pay attention over time, you may begin to notice that these meaningful coincidences often occur during moments of personal transformation. They appear when you are questioning your direction, facing uncertainty, or searching for answers that have not yet become clear. During these moments, the boundary between your inner world and the outer world can feel less rigid. Your thoughts, emotions, and unconscious desires seem to interact with the environment around you in subtle ways. Suddenly, the world begins reflecting something from within you. A conversation you overhear might contain exactly the message you needed to hear. A person you meet unexpectedly may influence the direction of your life in ways you could never have predicted. These experiences create a powerful sense of connection between the mind and reality. Instead of feeling like a passive observer of life, you begin to sense that your inner state might be participating in the events unfolding around you. It is as if your unconscious mind is quietly guiding you toward people, ideas, and situations that carry meaning for your personal journey. Often, these coincidences appear small on the surface. A random meeting, an unexpected opportunity, or a chance discovery might not seem extraordinary to anyone else. But for the person experiencing it, the timing and relevance can feel almost impossible to ignore. Something about the moment feels deeply significant, as if it carries a message that only you can fully understand. These moments can also act as turning points. A single unexpected encounter may lead to a lifelong friendship or relationship. A spontaneous decision to attend an event might introduce you to a mentor who changes your perspective. An idea discovered by accident could inspire a completely new path in life. What appears to be a coincidence at the time may later reveal itself as a crucial step in your personal development. People who begin noticing these patterns often develop a heightened sense of awareness about the subtle connections between events. They become more attentive to the symbolic nature of experiences and more curious about the deeper meanings hidden within everyday life. Instead of dismissing unusual timing or meaningful encounters, they start asking questions about why certain moments occur exactly when they do. Over time, these meaningful coincidences can create the impression that life is not simply unfolding through random chance. It begins to feel as though unseen patterns are quietly shaping events in ways that connect the inner world of thoughts and emotions with the outer world of reality. These moments can feel like brief glimpses into a deeper layer of existence where personal meaning and external events intersect in ways that logic alone cannot fully explain. Sometimes these coincidences appear repeatedly around the same themes, drawing your attention to something important that you may have overlooked within yourself. A certain symbol might keep appearing in dreams, conversations, or unexpected places. A specific type of person might repeatedly enter your life, each encounter revealing another aspect of your personality or emotional patterns. These repeating moments slowly guide your awareness toward parts of yourself that are asking to be understood. Every person carries within them a hidden side that rarely appears in public. It is made of thoughts, emotions, and impulses that were pushed away over the years because they felt uncomfortable, unacceptable, or even frightening. This hidden part of the psyche is often called the shadow. It forms slowly as a person learns which behaviors are praised and which ones are rejected by family, culture, and society. Over time, certain traits are embraced and developed, while others are buried deep within the unconscious mind. The shadow does not disappear simply because it is ignored. Instead, it becomes a silent force operating beneath awareness. While the conscious mind tries to present a certain image to the world, the shadow continues to influence decisions, reactions, and relationships in subtle ways. Many of the strongest emotional reactions people experience come from this hidden layer of the psyche. When someone feels sudden anger toward another person for seemingly small reasons, the shadow is often involved. When a person feels an intense attraction or admiration toward someone they barely know, it can also be connected to aspects of themselves that remain unrecognized. The shadow constantly seeks expression, even if the conscious mind refuses to acknowledge it. One of the most fascinating ways the shadow reveals itself is through projection. This happens when a person unconsciously attributes their own hidden traits to someone else. A person who denies their own competitiveness might strongly criticize ambition in others. Someone who suppresses their creativity may feel irritated or uncomfortable around people who freely express their talents. In these moments, the traits that provoke the strongest reactions are often reflections of something within the observer. These projections shape many of the relationships people experience throughout their lives. Individuals are frequently drawn toward people who mirror qualities they have not yet accepted within themselves. This can create powerful emotional connections, but also deep conflicts. Two people may clash repeatedly without realizing that they are reacting to unrecognized parts of their own personalities. Because the shadow operates outside conscious awareness, it quietly influences the path a person takes in life. Career choices, friendships, romantic relationships, and even major life decisions can be shaped by hidden motivations that remain unseen. A person might avoid opportunities that would require them to confront aspects of themselves they are not ready to face. Another person may repeatedly enter relationships that recreate familiar emotional patterns rooted in unresolved inner conflicts. Life often presents situations that force the shadow into awareness. Moments of failure, jealousy, anger, or deep insecurity can act as signals pointing toward parts of the psyche that have been ignored. These experiences may feel uncomfortable, but they carry important information about the inner structure of the personality. When people begin exploring these reactions, instead of denying them, something remarkable starts to happen. The qualities that once felt threatening slowly become sources of insight and strength. A person who recognizes their hidden anger may discover a powerful sense of personal boundaries. Someone who acknowledges their suppressed ambition might unlock motivation and creative energy that had been buried for years. Integrating the shadow does not mean allowing destructive impulses to take control. Instead, it involves recognizing that every personality contains both light and darkness. When individuals become aware of these hidden elements, they gain the ability to choose how those energies are expressed rather than being unconsciously controlled by them. The more a person understands their shadow, the less it manipulates their life from behind the scenes. Repeating patterns in relationships begin to make sense. Emotional triggers become easier to understand. Decisions that once felt confusing start revealing the hidden motivations that influence them. As awareness deepens, the shadow transforms from an unseen force shaping destiny into a source of self, knowledge that gradually changes the direction of a person's life. There are moments in life when something inside you begins to whisper that the life you are living is not fully aligned with who you truly are. From the outside, everything may appear stable. Your routine feels familiar, your responsibilities are clear, and the path ahead seems predictable. Yet beneath this surface, a quiet tension begins to grow. It feels like a subtle pull in another direction, a feeling that there is more to you than the role you are currently playing. This inner pull does not arrive loudly. It rarely announces itself with dramatic events at the beginning. Instead, it often appears as a quiet restlessness. You may start questioning choices that once felt obvious. Activities that used to satisfy you may begin to feel empty. Conversations that once felt comfortable may suddenly seem shallow or disconnected from what you are truly thinking. Many people try to ignore this feeling. They convince themselves that the discomfort is temporary or unnecessary. After all, following familiar paths feels safer than exploring unknown possibilities. Society also encourages stability and predictability, often rewarding those who follow established expectations. Because of this pressure, people frequently silence the inner voice that asks deeper questions about identity and purpose. Yet the call toward your true self rarely disappears completely. It waits patiently beneath the surface, growing stronger each time it is ignored. Sometimes it appears through curiosity about new ideas or passions that feel strangely meaningful. A certain subject may suddenly capture your attention, or a new creative impulse might emerge that you cannot easily explain. These small signals often point toward aspects of your personality that have not yet been fully expressed. This inner call can also appear during moments of dissatisfaction or emotional conflict. Situations that once felt acceptable may start creating tension within you. Relationships may reveal differences between who you truly are and who you have been trying to appear as. These experiences can feel confusing because they challenge the identity you have built over time. The process of discovering your true self often begins with questioning the beliefs and roles you have inherited from your environment. From childhood, people learn what is expected of them. They adopt values, behaviors, and goals that help them fit into family structures, social groups, and cultural traditions. While these influences shape personality, they can also create a version of the self that is partially constructed to satisfy external expectations. As the inner voice grows stronger, it begins encouraging a deeper exploration of personal identity. You may start noticing which parts of your life feel authentic and which ones feel forced. Certain activities may bring a sense of energy and clarity, while others drain your motivation. These emotional signals slowly guide you toward the areas of life that resonate with your deeper nature. Following this inner call requires courage because it often leads into unfamiliar territory. It may involve questioning career paths, reevaluating relationships, or expressing ideas that feel different from the opinions around you. At times, it can create a sense of isolation because not everyone will understand the internal changes you are experiencing. Despite these challenges, the journey toward your true self carries a powerful sense of meaning. As you begin aligning your choices with your deeper values and instincts, life starts feeling more coherent. Decisions that once felt uncertain become clearer because they reflect something genuine within you. The process does not happen all at once. It unfolds gradually through moments of reflection, experimentation, and self-discovery. Each step reveals another layer of your personality that had been hidden beneath expectations or fears. Over time, the identity you once believed was fixed begins transforming into something more authentic and complete. As this transformation continues, the quiet voice that once felt distant becomes stronger and more recognizable. It no longer feels like a vague restlessness, but like a clear sense of direction emerging from within your own mind. Many people move through life believing that their destiny is something fixed. They assume that circumstances, luck, or the actions of others determine the direction their lives will take. When things go wrong, they blame fate. When patterns repeat, they believe they are simply unlucky. This belief creates the feeling that life is something happening to them rather than something they are actively shaping. Yet beneath this belief lies a powerful truth that most people overlook. Much of what appears to be fate is actually the result of unconscious patterns operating within the mind. These patterns influence the decisions people make, the relationships they form, and the opportunities they either pursue or avoid. Because these forces remain outside conscious awareness, individuals often feel as though life is controlling them. From early childhood, the mind begins forming automatic responses to experiences. Emotional memories, learned beliefs, and repeated behaviors slowly create a psychological structure that guides everyday choices. Over time, these patterns become so familiar that they feel natural and unquestionable. A person might believe they are simply following their instincts without realizing that those instincts were shaped by past experiences they rarely think about anymore. This hidden influence becomes visible through repetition. People often notice that similar situations appear again and again throughout their lives. Someone may repeatedly enter relationships that create the same emotional conflicts. Another person might constantly avoid opportunities that could lead to growth, only to later feel frustrated about missed possibilities. These recurring experiences can create the impression that life is predetermined. What often goes unnoticed is that these repeating events are closely connected to internal habits of thinking and reacting. The mind tends to recreate familiar emotional environments, even when those environments cause discomfort. This happens because the psyche prefers what it recognizes, even if that familiarity comes with pain or limitation. As a result, individuals unknowingly reinforce the same patterns that shape their experiences. Awareness is the moment when this hidden mechanism begins to reveal itself. When a person starts observing their own reactions, emotions, and decisions with curiosity rather than judgment, the unconscious patterns slowly become visible. Instead of automatically repeating the same responses, the individual begins to notice the triggers behind them. For example, someone who constantly feels rejected might begin examining how they interpret other people's behavior. They may discover that small signs of distance trigger deep fears rooted in earlier experiences. Another person who avoids taking risks might realize that their hesitation is connected to old beliefs about failure or criticism. These discoveries do not immediately change behavior, but they create the possibility for transformation. The power of awareness lies in its ability to interrupt automatic reactions. When unconscious patterns remain hidden, they operate like invisible scripts guiding a person's actions. But once these patterns become conscious, the individual gains the ability to question them. A reaction that once felt inevitable suddenly becomes a choice. This shift can gradually alter the direction of a person's life. Instead of repeating familiar cycles, new possibilities begin to emerge. A person who recognizes their fear of vulnerability may start approaching relationships differently. Someone who understands their habit of self-doubt might begin challenging the beliefs that once limited their confidence. These small internal changes can produce surprisingly large effects in the external world. Different choices lead to different experiences, and over time, those experiences reshape the path a person follows. What once appeared to be fate begins revealing itself as a pattern that was maintained by unconscious behavior. As awareness deepens, people often notice that many of their past decisions were influenced by motivations they never fully understood at the time. Recognizing these influences does not erase the past, but it transforms the way the future unfolds. The more clearly individuals understand their inner world, the less power unconscious patterns have over the direction of their lives. This growing awareness creates a sense of participation in the shaping of one's own destiny, where life is no longer experienced as a series of uncontrollable events, but as a dynamic interaction between inner understanding and external reality, where each moment of insight quietly shifts the path ahead in ways that once seemed impossible to change.